you the Spirit of Grace? Spirit of Grace future, I presume. Well, let's see my future then.
Hello everybody, I'm Melinda Romero, account executive here at Grace, and joining me,
I'm Anthony Witterberg. I'm also an account executive here at Grace.
and today we're super excited because we're demoing our 19X Elite machine. I'll tell you what, Anthony, I think this is probably like my favorite. It's my dream machine.
Ooh.
It's fantastic.
This one's not my dream machine, but I love it. Probably second best to the other one I demoed earlier, but you know, what makes it your dream machine?
You know, I love the 19-inch throat. I love that I have so much space to be able to quilt. I love that it's not an overly bulky machine, feels manageable. Right before we started, we were just talking about, you know, who sets these up, and you know, we need to accommodate us short people. You and I, we're what, pretty much about the same height? Right about. And you know, I just love the versatility of the machine, the adjustable handles of the machine. I love that the handles are very easily adjustable. They telescope, they can tilt, very much like, I don't know, the steering wheel in our cars. So you can make it adjustable and comfortable, just so we have the ease to finish our projects in comfort. But those aren't the only features I love about this machine. Anthony, go ahead and tell us, I don't know, what's your favorite feature about the machine?
I think I gotta say, across the board on the Elites, the 7-inch display is probably my favorite thing ever. You know, you have all of your easy access, different stitching modes. You have 4 different stitching modes: the precise, the cruise, you can do manual, and a basting stitch. And then my favorite part about the screen is it gives you help settings. I don't know about you, I can't ever keep track of a manual anytime I need it. It's always in the box that I'll remember where I put it.
Yes.
And that box is...
whatever filing cabinet, whatever safe place. My safe places, I forget about it in like a day, 2 days. And then I'm like, where did I put that? Where was my safe space?
Exactly.
But you're right, just that help feature or that help area really just has what you want to find in your manual right at your fingertips at the machine. I think probably one of my most common questions, how do I maintain my machine? And that can easily be found right in this wonderful help section under maintenance. We have the cleaning guide, the oiling guide, right there at our fingertips. So for that being probably one of the most common questions, having the information readily, easily available, phenomenal. So yes, I love all the wonderful help features, but what about if we go into our toolbox? We have our measure tool, calculator, bobbin estimator, edge warning, project. What's your favorite feature here, Anthony?
Personally, my favorite feature here would be the project feature. I would have to say bobbin estimator is a close second, but I love the project feature because you can see how much time and effort you have spent on your machine as a whole and each project. So if you're big into selling quilts, or you know, you really just want to know how long does it really take me to make a king size or a baby quilt, you can track it. Again, back to the car, kind of like how you can track your miles on your car, you can track your miles and your lifetime on your machine.
I love that. You know, how do you kind of adjudicate, in a sense, you know, what you're charging to finish those quilts when you have that information easily available for each and every project? So my favorite feature would be the bobbin estimator. I don't know about you, Anthony. In the few projects I've done, I've run out of my bobbin a handful of times.
Oh yeah.
When you run out of your bobbin, it's like your stomach just drops and you're like, oh no, what happened? What's going on? I'm not stitching. You know, and you go through this kind of panic mode and you're trying to determine what exactly happened. 9 times out of 10, it's you ran out of bobbin.
Yeah.
You know, so having that bobbin estimator, you can name your bobbin, then we can estimate how many yards are on the bobbin. All of our machines have M-class bobbins, tons of thread,
Huge.
but you can estimate how many yards you think will be on that bobbin. I tend to estimate probably about 70 yards. So right here we can turn the bobbin estimator off or on. On the side we can see when we turn it on, we get a green indicator. That indicator will change colors as we're going through the thread on the bobbin. Such a lifesaver, you know, just kind of for my personal sanity as I'm quilting, just to know when I'm gonna run out of bobbin. All right, so what else about this phenomenal machine, Anthony?
I do want to highlight back here, we do have a bobbin winder. So when you are running out, you see that red light coming up, you may want to jump back there. It is on its own separate motor so that you don't have to worry about, you know, if you're hooking up automation, you don't have to worry about that messing with anything. You can just load up your bobbins, come on back, and it does perfect fill every time for you.
It does, and it's so fast. I would say, what, you can wind a bobbin in 30 seconds or less?
Yeah, it's
phenomenal. Now, Anthony, I know you talked about the different stitch modes. How are those useful?
Those are useful in wanting to get different, you know, designs, or just in a better way of like being able to accommodate for how you quilt. The precise mode, as long as you're moving, that needle is gonna jog up and down. Once you stop, it's gonna stop. So that if you are like, let me stop for a second, rethink what I'm doing in this next spot, you're not gonna have to worry about causing some sort of rat's nest underneath. Cruise mode, I like to think of that, let's bring it back to a car again. Cruise control in a car. You set it and it's going to keep running, jogging that needle up and down no matter where you're going. I like to use that one for like tight corners or really small designs because you can get in there, let it stitch a few times and come back out. Really nice for, you know, star designs I like to use. I am not great with the manual mode personally. I get a little fast and crazy and my stitches are all different sizes.
There's so many people out there that prefer and love to use the manual mode. They're skilled enough to be able to control how fast they're moving the machine to keep their stitches even in length. I know our director of education, Carla, she does most of her projects in manual mode.
Oh my gosh.
You know, she's been making quilts forever. I don't know how long forever is, but it's been a very long time. You know, she's just that good where she just prefers that manual mode. I would compare it to just like using our domestic machine. Again, there's no rhyme or reason. You know, that needle is still going to move up and down, but there's no stitch regulation. You're regulating the stitches just based on how fast or how slow you're moving the machine. Now, tell us about the based option.
So your basting stitch, you know, to keep everything all together. When you make your quilt sandwich, you just go along the top. You have 3 different sizes actually that you can do with your basting stitch. Every time I baste my quilts, I use the medium one. I just think it looks nice and not like too far apart. But, you know, they're just long, nice stitches to go across. And I actually saw on one of our previous videos, someone used it to mark out their designs instead of using their pencil to draw. So there is more features for the basting stitch than just basting. You get creative with it.
Yes, and I would say that's true with all of the stitch options: precise, cruise, manual, based. Choose the stitch mode that feels comfortable to you and helps you achieve the best results for your quilt. So I love how easy it is to change the bobbin on our machines. They're front loading. All I ever have to do is pull the machine to the side, pull it forward, open the little door, and I can very easily pull my bobbin out. Okay, once we put the bobbin back into the bobbin holder, again, we'll just slide it in, push it in, you'll hear that click, and then you know your bobbin is ready to go. Yes. Love how easy it is to access that. The 19-inch throat of the machine, again, giving you the space available to quilt your most beautiful projects, whether you're playing, practicing, you know, doing something in a sense on a professional level, everything that you need to achieve the highest quality quilts you can find on the 19X Elite. Now, before we started, we were talking about the stitch speed of the 19X Elite. It is a fast machine.
Very fast.
Incredibly fast. So you can achieve up to 2,200 stitches per inch. Phenomenal speed. You have your regulated stitch modes, your manual. Again, just everything built directly into the machine. to help you quilt easier, faster, and more enjoyable time doing it. Anthony, can you think of anything that we've missed?
Personally for me, I have threaded machine after machine after machine, but time and time again, I will forget a step. On the side here, it does label out exactly what you need to do to get the correct threading on your machine, so you aren't, having any tension issues because it's been misthreaded. And along with it being on the side, that's another thing up here in our settings. Oh, not the settings, in the help. With preparing to quilt. So you can find it in 2 spots on here. It's a great tool to utilize.
I'm so glad you brought that up because just like you, every machine threads a little bit differently. Having those reminders pad printed on the machine, in the help section, in the display of the machine, phenomenal. Just having those resources right there ready to go. So Anthony, what else can we talk about with the 19X Elite? I really want to know why it's not your favorite machine. After all these cool features we've just talked about.
I'm personally impartial to the 16X Elite. Funny enough, me and the 16 actually started here at the same time. I was coming on board as soon as we started selling it. But you may have convinced me to join the 19 side. The 3 extra inches of quilt space, it's got all the features that I love on the 16X Elite. So you may have me rethinking my decisions here.
Awesome. That must mean I did my job.
You work in sales, you done good.
Awesome. Well, I think, we have some phenomenal sales for our show for this week. And we'll get into a little bit more of those sales here in a little bit. Again, I've enjoyed demoing the 19X Elite. Sounds like I've converted you. The 19X Elite is now your favorite. So Anthony, one last, quick thing. As with all of our machines, they're compatible with all of our frames. Whether you want something as small as the Cutie Breeze, or the Evolution Elite frame. This is our Evolution hoop, but again, the 19X Elite will fit on all of those frames, the Q-Zone frames, Q-Zone hoop, Q-Zone queen, whatever your space will accommodate. This machine will pair perfectly with any of our frames.
Yes, I would recommend taking a look at our bundles, see what we have to offer, and just know that this machine will grow with you wherever you start on your quilting journey.
Yes, love it. Well, Anthony, I think we do need to get into our next session. So thanks everybody for having us today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
This has been our best year in sales yet. Thanks so much for all of your effort.
We're so proud of all of you.
Wait, this is great. We had an awesome year of sales. Everyone is happy. This seems like the perfect future. What? What do you mean? Everyone seems happy, aren't they? I must have done something right. What? Where am I? Am I nowhere to be found? Am I not at Grace in the future? I didn't get to be a part of it? I missed out because I was so focused on what I thought was the most important thing. But it is important that it keep the business going, isn't it? I didn't mean to push everyone away in doing so. But I see now, Grace has always been about putting the customers first and giving them the best experience possible. I've been so afraid of what the future may bring that I missed out on what I have and what I can give to others. Is this future set in stone? Is there nothing I can do?
That's completely up to you.